Welcome back to Scofield Farms. Today we're going to be talking about different seed varieties I grew last year in 2022 in my spring-summer garden. Now, I was hoping to go over all the different vegetables, but as I started looking at what I was going to go over, it looks like today we're only going to get to peppers, because I grew 29 varieties of peppers last year in my garden. And I like peppers so much that most of them are going to be a repeat grow. And I want to tell you a little bit about them too, and where I found them to help you find them if you are interested in growing them in your garden, because I know this is the time of year that we're planting stuff and that we are making our different seed purchases. So you're going to have to watch for a later video on tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants, all of the other things, because I just don't think this video is going to end up not being hours long. Anyway, grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, snack. Feel free to pause the video and come back to it or save it, because you're going to want to reference this if you're a pepper grower. Or if you aren't a pepper grower and you want to know what's a good place to start that's not just the jalapeno or the bell pepper, I've got some good suggestions because I am all about peppers. Okay, get yourself cozy. We're gonna get started. Now, I have to make this disclaimer. I love variety. I love variety. I like every color. I like every flavor. I like things that look interesting. I like things that are rare. So you're gonna have to bear with me. There's a lot of varieties that I grew, and there's a lot of different things that I would recommend. So peppers is something that I am very excited about. I love peppers. I love every single kind of pepper. I'm trying to think if I ever found a pepper that I didn't actually like. But anyway, the only thing that I grow as much variety as peppers are tomatoes. So that section will take us a while too. I looked back. I actually have a list on my phone in notes of what the varieties that I grew were. I actually sell starts locally just to friends, family, local gardeners that I have relationship with. And then I write a list of what I am saving for myself. Last summer, I saved 29 varieties of peppers. So I will try to give you kind of my honest take and description of each one, let you know where I found it. That way, if you like that variety and want to check it out as you're seed shopping and kind of making your garden plans this year, you know where at least I found it, and they may or may not have it in stock, but it's a good place to start. Okay, so we're gonna start, just my list is not in alphabetical order. It's not even in spice versus sweet versus bell order. It's just the order I have it on this paper, but I'm gonna start that way for you. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Santa Fe. Santa Fe Grande is a pepper that I really like. Let me show you. I got mine from M.I. Gardener, and they are a similar spice level to a jalapeno. Their flavor is, in my opinion, a little more bright than jalapeno. They start yellow, like that yellow color there, like a light yellow, and then as they mature, they change to an orange, even a red. You can actually pick them at any one of the colors and use them. I love these in salsas. I have made hot sauce with these. They're just a really good pepper to cut up and to put in my scrambled eggs in the morning. So this is one that I've grown for several years. I really enjoy. I will make room for it in my garden again. That is Santa Fe Grande. It's considered a hot pepper, as I said, similar heat to a jalapeno. The next one that I love, but actually my seeds did not germinate very well last year. I had a note written down a couple of years ago that this next pepper took a very long time to germinate. And so I think that's part of my problem is I don't do heat mats. I've never had that be an issue with any of my other peppers. They just are usually slower for the seed to sprout, but this specific pepper had a hard time germinating at all. This one is a Hungarian yellow wax pepper. Now, Hungarians, as I said, I didn't grow them last year. I did grow them in the past. What I like about Hungarian yellow wax is we live in California and I love In-N-Out Burger. And In-N-Out has these little spicy chilies you can get. I would describe a Hungarian hot wax as similar to those hot chilies. I love, well, most peppers that are kind of that medium hot, I like to put with my eggs in the morning, but I also love Hungarian for pickling them. And the way I specifically pickle is I like fermentation. I will do a salt brine and I will ferment them in a clamp jar up in the cupboard. And then after, the certain amount of time of fermenting, I'll put them in the fridge for storage. And I love them on sandwiches, thrown in salads. I love to salt brine ferment Hungarians. So I'm hoping to get on top of that germination this year and grow them again in my garden because I really missed them last year. The next pepper I want to share with you I grew was my tried and true Anaheim chili. The Anaheim I got from my gardener, but lots of people carry Anaheims. The reason I grow Anaheims is because we love diced green chilies, those little cans that you buy from the store, and then we throw them in chilies, in tortilla soup, in enchilada casserole. We use them for a lot of different things. They're very popular with my family, so I'll grow them. I will roast them in the toaster oven, and then I'll peel them, dice them, and I freeze them in the 4-ounce amounts in little Ziploc baggies, just like you would buy at the grocery store. So I always have some ready in the freezer to use diced green chilies with my homegrown Anaheims. Okay, the next pepper that is a must grow in my garden is the Ancho. Ancho is also called Poblano. It really depends on if you use them in their raw state and cook them that way, or if you dry them. But they're the same pepper. You might see them marked differently with different seed catalogs as well. So keep that in mind. This I got from my gardener. And the way I like to use anchos is I roast them for a little bit in our toaster oven and I throw them into my fresh garden salsa. And they add like this lower layer of just, this great warmth without adding a ton of spice. I also have started growing them and letting them mature to red and drying them, and I'm planning on making a chili powder out of my anchos as well. One unusual pepper I discovered through one of my favorite seed companies, Redwood Seeds, which is located really near us up in Northern California, is called a Peruvian Purple pepper. These peppers, I'm not sure if you can see that, these peppers start purple, a beautiful deep purple, very small, and then they mature into a red. And I have harvested them both ways, and I have used them in different hot sauce combinations I've made. These are so beautiful, and they pack a little spicy punch as well. So these are a very fun, unusual pepper to grow. Okay, so as I said, I do sell some veggie starts to local gardeners, and my most popular pepper is always the jalapeno. I grow the early jalapeno from Redwood Seeds, and I don't seem to ever be able to start enough seeds for how many people want these. And it makes sense. They're the tried and true pepper. I will always have them in my garden. Even though I love variety, I always like the old staple as well. I also love Scotch Bonnet. Scotch Bonnet is a pepper from Jamaica. They look like little orange hats hanging. They're beautiful, beautiful plants. And I love jerk seasoning. I love Jamaican food. One reason I grow peppers is because I love spice, I love seasonings, and I want to make more and more of my own seasonings. So a goal of mine, besides using Scotch Bonnet in hot sauces, and I throw it into different, recipes I'm making, but I have a goal of making my own jerk seasoning blend. So I've been drying some Scotch Bonnet, and I'm going to grind them soon and see if I can get that right recipe for jerk seasoning figured out. The next pepper is the Pasilla pepper. Pasilla They say it's hot, but I don't think it's hot. It's more like a medium pepper. It's got a distinctive smoky flavor. This is another one I like to roast in the toaster oven and throw it in all sorts of things that we make. It just has such a wonderful, warm flavor. This is one that has been in my garden for years and it is not losing its spot. We're keeping this one every single year. Okay, so before I get back to pepper varieties, I want to show you one thing I do to preserve my peppers. I pop them whole in the freezer. And as I need peppers throughout the winter and the spring when they're not in season in the garden, they're very easy to take out, chop up, and throw in any recipe. I love this way, easy way of keeping peppers for later. I also make hot sauce, salsa, dehydrate, and make spices. I pickle them. I've made cowboy candy, but I honestly think just throwing them in the freezer is the easiest way to use peppers and to be able to keep them to deal with later. So I wanted to give you that tip real quick. Now let's get back to the different pepper varieties I haven't talked about yet. Now, let's get back to peppers. Tabasco. Tabasco, y'all know Tabasco. I mean, we've got the famous Tabasco sauce. These are the peppers that grow them. Now, this bush gets nice and big. I'm talking like, I think ours was like 4 feet tall, and it has all these little tiny peppers that look almost like Christmas lights. And they don't start changing colors and ripening till more like early fall, at least where we are. It looks like a little Christmas tree. I love it. Just for the prettiness in the garden, this is a beautiful, beautiful plant. But I also love Tabasco in hot sauces. Last year, well, I guess in 2021, I had a wonderful harvest of Tabasco and I made straight Tabasco sauce, which we used all that next winter, spring, even to the summer. I also have used Tabasco in a type of, what did I call it? I called it fire sauce blend I made for my family because it is super hot. It packs a great punch. But even for the beauty, I would suggest growing Tabascos. It's such a beautiful, beautiful plant. I got these from Baker's Creek, rareseeds.com. They have lots of choices of peppers, but this is one if you don't grow it yet. And if you like Tabasco sauce, I'd suggest giving it a try. Now, when I sell out of my jalapeno starts, the one I usually direct people to is Serrano. Serrano is such a popular pepper. It's second to jalapeno in popular peppers, and it's very similar to jalapeno in flavor, just a little bit spicier. This is great in salsa. This is great in so many things. I like to chop them up, put them on tacos. I've made a great hot sauce with Serrano. Serrano peppers are super versatile and are actually a super productive plant. This was from Baker's Creek. Lots of places carry Serrano. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. It's a great one to branch out. If you know you like jalapenos, you haven't tried a lot of varieties, try Serrano. You probably would like it. It's not too crazy hot, just a little bit hotter than the jalapeno. Now, for one of my favorite peppers. And this is one I would have never, ever known about if I hadn't branched out and tried something new. My good friend, Robin, she is like my garden mentor. She loves variety too. And she told me about some new varieties she was trying. And I decided to buy a couple starts from her, always buy starts from her of new varieties because we like to talk about all different things. This is one of them. Sugar Rush Peach. Oh my goodness, I can't even say it. Sugar Rush Peach. It is so tasty. Somehow this little pepper, see it? It became, I think, maybe my favorite pepper in the garden. Now, I am someone who does not pick favorites, but this pepper is so unique. It's sweet at the start, and then there comes at the end this spicy heat. It's not like knock your, I don't know what the word is. It's not like it's gonna crazy make you like run for the yogurt like, a Carolina Reaper, but it's got some good heat. I made a hot sauce that I gifted to my family for Christmas with these peppers. Oh, they are so good. I've actually made 2 different versions of hot sauce with these. I could talk about these almost all day long. But I think if you want something that's spicy, but it's got a nice, sweet, different, exotic, tropical flavor, try this one. I got it from Baker's Creek. I seriously would love to know what you thought about this pepper, if you've ever tasted it or grown it. This is such a good pepper. And as I said, I would have never known about it if I hadn't branched out and tried something new. That is part of why I'm making this video. I think people should try new things. I think that's part of what makes gardening exciting. That's part of what growing your own food is all about. Like, we could go to the grocery store and we can buy bell peppers and we can buy jalapeños. We can even buy things like anchos and poblanos sometimes, but you're not gonna go to a grocery store and you're not gonna find Sugar Rush Peach. You're not gonna find Thai Dragon. You're not gonna find Peruvian Purple. These different, more unusual peppers, you're only gonna find in a home garden, maybe a farmer's market. And I just think that's part of the beauty of growing your own food. I think getting to do something that you're not gonna find anywhere else is such a special thing that keeps gardening exciting, fun, that it's just, there's no other way to describe it except that it's like a unique adventure personalized to you and your family and what you guys like. Oh my goodness, that was really long-winded and that was a bunny trail. So let's get back to the prepper varieties. But really, please tell me in the comments if there's a pepper that I mentioned that you want to try for the first time, especially if it's something that you had maybe never heard about before, because that's part of why I'm doing this channel. I love to inspire people to try new things. I like people to think outside the box. And, you know, I don't have a seed company. Like, the only thing I'm gonna make off of you trying a new pepper is if you're local and you buy a start from me, you know, for a couple bucks. But to be able to inspire people to branch out and to try new things, that's super fun. That's exciting. I feel like that's part of what builds gardening community and relationships. So let me know. Now we're gonna go back to my list of peppers. The next thing on my list, the tried and true cayenne. This is just one called Cayenne Long Thin from Baker's Creek. I don't know, I think there's other cayenne peppers. They probably are great too. I grow cayenne primarily because I love cayenne powder. I mean, I'm the kind of girl that put cayenne powder on every single thing I ate. Like, people use black pepper. So I grow these so I can dry them and make my own cayenne powder. Now, a pepper I tried last year for the first time was the Thai Dragon. My brother used to grow Thai Dragon and he would bring me up baggies full, and I would put them in different salsa blends, different hot sauce blends. Well, this year I grew my own. I just grabbed this pack from Lake Valley from a local nursery in town. And I made a hot sauce that was only Thai Dragon, and I used white wine vinegar in it. I fermented the peppers with salt beforehand for a couple weeks. Let me tell you, this was the favorite hot sauce of my family. My kids are begging me, grow Thai Dragon again, make the hot sauce again, make lots and lots of the hot sauce. So not only will I have Thai Dragon return to my garden, I'm going to give extra room for it and grow multiple plants. This was a great one. Okay, next pepper on the list was the habanero. I love habanero. I have never grown habanero all the way to fruit successfully. Here's the deal. Super hots like habaneros take a very long time to set fruit. I probably should have started my seeds earlier inside, got the plants more mature before they went outside, which makes me think I probably should start some of these this month in January. I usually start my peppers in February because I know peppers take a long time, but because I have not been successful with getting fruit from my habaneros, I mean, I got beautiful plants. I even got them full of blossoms, but that makes me think I need to start them earlier. If you want to grow super hots, just realize they take a very long time to set fruit. We are in zone 9B. We have a late first frost. So you would think that I had enough time. Now, if I had a, let's say I had them not in my garden bed, but I had them like grow bags and I was able to bring them inside and not disturb the roots in the fall, there is a chance that would help me actually get fruit easier. A lot of people also have these in high tunnels, in greenhouses that are heated to actually get fruit. So keep it in mind if you want to do super hots. I love habaneros. I'm a huge fan, but have not actually successfully got fruit from them. The next one that I absolutely love, now mind you, I don't eat a lot of it because it doesn't take very much to pack a tremendous punch. Carolina Reaper seeds. I got these Reaper seeds from a company called puckerbutpeppercompany.com. I know, I am crazy. When my husband first brought home a dried Carolina Reaper from a friend that he works with that grew it, I was very skeptical. I mean, I'd heard of people like throwing up from trying these. There was no possible way I wanted to throw up. But you take a very little tiny bit dried, and we even used gloves. We didn't touch them with our hands. And I put it on some tacos, and I actually really liked it. Last year, I only got, well, I guess last year would be 2021. I got one Carolina Reaper successfully to fruit, all the way to like maturity. I dried it, and I made this amazing seasoning salt with like coarse pink salt, real salt, Redmond's real salt. And I like chopped them up with it, dried it in the oven. It was so delicious. This year I got four Carolina Reapers. So as I said, I think I had 3 or 4 plants, and they got all the way to beautiful plants full of blossoms, but only 4 mature fruit. That is how long super hots take. This is not for everybody. That is okay. But let me know if you're one of those few people that like things like Carolina Reapers. I'm very curious. Guys, I'm sorry, I get so excited about peppers. I mean, friends who know me in person will tell you that I am actually this excited about peppers. It is not a show. I wish it was. All right, next pepper. Alma Paprika. This pepper, I wish it had a picture of it for you because they're very unique looking. I got it from Sustainable Seed Company. I've ordered from them quite a few times, but they actually sold, and I'm trying to remember the company who bought them. I think it's called True Leaf. You might check on that. Other places sell them as well. They are like short and squat, like a little fleshy pumpkin type of pepper, but they're not orange. They start like a very pale yellow, and then they go through the colors of like an orange, but like a, fruity looking orange to a red. And you can pick them in any color. I picked them more mature, the orange and red. I tried to dry these on the counter, and do not do that because they will mold. They will not dry from just the air. And we have very dry air here. We are a very dry climate in the summer. You have to dehydrate them. You have to slice them thinly and dehydrate them. Because they are not thin-skinned, they're really fleshy, they won't just air dry. So if you're gonna grow Alma Paprika, keep that in mind. You can use them fresh in like different sauces and curries, and they're really good. But my whole goal of growing them was to make my own paprika powder. Now, they say that they are mild. For my experience, I'm looking to see. Yeah, it does say sweet, but spicy. All right, I didn't realize that. I was looking for like a mild paprika. They are more spicy than I thought they would be. So if you are not a spicy paprika person, maybe find a different paprika. If you don't mind a little bit of heat in your paprika, and I'm not talking like crazy heat. I'm talking about like a little punch. This might be one you want to try. Next, if you don't like heat, this is a pepper for you. I'm sure everyone knows about the good old banana pepper, but have you grown the banana pepper? These are very fun if you have kids because they know which pepper it is in the garden, and they go, Mom, can I have a banana pepper? Every time I go to the garden. This is one of the ones my younger kids say, are there any banana peppers ready? Are there any banana peppers ready? And they just grab them right off the bush. They eat them. I love, 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 love to ferment these and use them on sandwiches. This is like my favorite pickled pepper for a sandwich when I'm not feeling the need for spice. Plus, I like things that aren't spicy as well. I really like spicy, but I'm okay with having mild once in a while. These are wonderful. These are so easy to pickle if you like to do more of the traditional pickling for canning, or if you're fermenting like I am, they are wonderful to ferment. These are just like, I think these should be in everyone's garden, honestly, and they're not too unusual. So if you're a little afraid to try the exotic varieties, try banana pepper. It's great. Okay, real quick. Are these pretty flowers? My husband got them for me before Christmas, and they're still doing beautiful. We'll talk a different time about flowers because I am such a flower person. I love flowers on my table. I love flowers so much, but this isn't the flower episode, so we'll talk about flowers later. But even when I don't have seasonal flowers, I appreciate a good little Trader Joe's bouquet brought home for the table. All right, see this? These are banana pepper seeds that I saved myself. Now, here is the deal about saving seeds. Pepper seeds are very, very easy to save, like very easy. All you do is take a mature pepper, and when you cut it open, you dry the seeds on a plate. That's it. Mature means letting them change to the color that they are when they're mature. Now, you may not know this, or maybe this is like common knowledge to you, but a jalapeno bought at the grocery store that's green is not mature. Mature jalapenos turn red. So if you want to save seeds, the best thing to do is let them go to whatever their mature color is, save one, cut it open, lay them on a little paper plate, mark it jalapeno 2022, or this should be 2023, and then just wait for them to dry out. Now, if you want your seeds to breed true, you're gonna need to do something to keep them away from other varieties. Or I know some people who put like little mesh baggies over some of the flowers that they're choosing to save. I am a little more lazy than that. So the seeds that I have saved, I mark them in a separate bag like this because I know I grow my peppers close together. I grow lots of varieties close together. This very, very well could be some sort of new crossbreed made in my garden with the pollinators or the wind. I'm okay with that. I mean, who knows? You may someday hear of like some Scofield farm variety of pepper just from me being lazy about putting the little mesh bags over the flowers of the specific peppers that I'm saving. I don't know, but I do keep them separate than my pepper seeds that I have purchased because I want to know when that plant is mature, if it did do some sort of hybrid kind of cross thing, I want to know, oh yeah, that's because those were the banana pepper seeds that I saved and I have that marked. And if I like them, I can purposely collect seeds from that to grow again. It's kind of my thought. I'm not as organized as I hope to be. I'm much better at labeling the seeds that I save than labeling my plants in the garden. It has been a joke with different Instagram friends for several years that I often fail to label my plants in the garden, hoping that 2023 is a little different for me in that. We will see, time will tell. Next pepper. Oh, you guys, this is another one that my friend Robin introduced me to. And I'm sure a lot of people knew about it before I did, but it's the Shishito. Shishito is so good. My husband and I went to Napa, oh goodness, in 2021, went to a farm-to-table restaurant and they had an appetizer of shishito peppers. And my goodness, they were so delicious. Now, I already had them in my garden at that point, but I hadn't tasted them yet. And so it just made me all the more excited to grow shishito. Our first year, I bought one plant for my friend Robin. Guess what? Last year, I'm looking at my notes, I grew 7 plants of shishito. Shishito are a mild pepper. Once in a while, they say like 1 in 10 peppers, you'll get a spicy one. One year, I think it was my first year, I had several that were more spicy, but last year I didn't have very many that actually ended up spicy. What we like to do is we like to, what would you call it? Like saute them lightly in a little bit of oil in a skillet, salt them. And then I put them on a plate and I make a homemade ranch dressing from our homegrown dill, garlic powder. What else do I put in it? I think we do yogurt in our dressing. We don't do mayo. just personal preference. And I do some of our onion powder we've made. Oh my word. Those peppers dipped in homemade ranch are just like my favorite late night treat. That's what I grow them for. I grow them for late night treats. I'm sure there's so many ways to eat shishitos, but they're like a craving of mine now. They will always have a place in my garden now. They are so, so good. And my plants have been so productive. I mean, not every pepper I grow is productive. I want to say that again. Like my reapers, one year I got none. Another year I got one that was not mature. A different year I got none again, then one that was mature. Last year 4 mature. I mean, I've tried those over and over. Shishito always have peppers on the plant. Now I don't want to say that and like somehow this year mine, don't do very well, but it seems like they're a pretty productive pepper. So I think you should try them. If you haven't tasted them, and I know a lot of people have talked about them, you've probably heard about them, but in the case that you haven't heard about them or you just haven't tried them, they are a fun variety to give a try. Okay, next, Sunbright. Sunbright pepper. This is a sweet pepper. I would call it a bell pepper. I don't know if it's technically called a bell pepper. For me, these were huge. I love these. I got them from M.I. Gardener. They are an heirloom. I think most of what I grow is actually an heirloom, if not all of them. This pepper is like, I'm gonna show you how big they are. They were like this long. They were not quite as like squat as a bell pepper, but kind of like long and fat. So tasty. What I did this year, besides eating them fresh, is I chopped a bunch up and I put them in a bag in the freezer so that I could use bell peppers in my cooking this winter. And they're just such a lovely pepper. This is a great one if you're looking for a tasty colored bell. I'd recommend this one. It's very good, it's productive, and they are just huge. I tried Halden Garden yellow bell peppers this year. I only had one in my garden. I don't feel like I had a fair try of them to give much a review, so I am gonna try these again. But I did have this in my garden. Another one is the Yolo Wonder. It was a red Yolo sweet pepper. Now, a lot of people don't know that the Yolo is what a lot of people use for their green bell peppers, and they just didn't let them mature all the way to red. All bell peppers, and actually most peppers immature, are green. Not all, some are a pale yellow, but most are green. This Yolo is a great one if you want green bell peppers. But when it matures to red, it takes a while, but it's definitely worth it. I bought an entire ounce of seeds accidentally in 2020. I have a funny joke with some of my local gardening friends. I did one of those late night seed shopping, things. And I think what happened was the lettuce I wanted and the peppers, these red yellow, were out of stock in the normal seed size. And I noticed that the size up was like twice the price. So it was like $8 or $9, I don't remember, maybe $10. And so sure. Well, when they came, it was so many pepper seeds. I mean, you guys know how small pepper seeds are, right? Let me show you. I mean, I've used these for years. I have sold little baggies to friends. I've tons and tons, and that's not even close. There are so many seeds in here. I feel like there's no possible way I will grow this mini Yolo before they stop germinating well. So this is a good one for me to share on some of those places like on Instagram that have like seed swaps or Seed Wish Wednesday, because they're incredibly tasty and I have a ton of these seeds. One note about pepper seeds. Now, you're gonna find something on the different pepper. Oh, this is a great one to show you with. Okay, so I got this from Sustainable Seeds, the Yolo. It says on it says germination percentage, 85%. Hard seed, 0%. Germ plus hard, 85%. Germ date, 4/2/2020. Now, these were packed for 2020. However, that does not mean they expire in 2020. This is something I didn't know very well when I got into seeds. I didn't know how long a seed was good for. So I didn't know when I started growing from seeds that when it says packed for 2020 or packed for 2022, that didn't mean it expired at the end of that year. Get it? So pepper seeds last a really long time. Lots of seeds can last a long time. It depends on how you store them. I used to store all my seeds in a fridge. I don't have room right now for that, but I do use these things I talked about on a past video. I got them at Michael's. I inspired myself to buy 2 more, but seriously, they are awesome. They were on a killer sale and I had like an extra, I don't know, discount thing on top of them. So this package, as I was saying, says germination test was on 4/2/2020. It germinated 85%, which means 85 out of 100 seeds I started germinated. Now, germination rate goes down each year. If you store it in a cool, dark place, your germination rate will stay better longer. If you don't, you're gonna lose germination faster. But here's the deal, it still may germinate. I have heard of people finding seeds from like 100 years ago that germinated. So don't toss seeds just because they're old. Try. What I would do is, since these were 2020 and they were 85% then, I will start more. I will start, let's see, back then if I started 10, 8 would germinate. I figure, okay, maybe it lost like, gosh, what if it's at 60? So if I start 10, 6 germinate, I have tons of seeds. Even a normal seed pack like this one, this seed pack says, where does it say it? About 50 seeds. Now, as a home gardener, you're probably not gonna need 50 plants of just this one thing. So you have leeway to start extra. And I would tell people, always, always, always start extra. Always start more than you need. That is kind of how I got into selling my extra starts, because I wanna make sure I can grow in my garden what I wanna have in my garden. So I start extra. And if I have extra, great. I can either find a place for them, I can gift them, I can sell them. You know, like you could have like a little table in front of your house, or you can give things around Mother's Day to your mom and your relatives and your neighbors. Like, people love plants. So do not be afraid to start more seeds than you think you need, because you have to make room for germination. You have to take into account how old your seeds are. They just might not germinate as well from, you know, past years. But even in my own garden, I was telling a friend, I had like some old eggplant seeds. I think they were from, oh goodness, how long? I think it was like 2014. It was a while ago. And I still got eggplant from them. I didn't know if I would, because eggplant can be a finicky one to start, just like peppers. You have to start them really early. You know, I always start extra because I'm always like, who knows if they're gonna germinate. I got eggplant. So I would not throw away seeds, okay? There you go. Let's get back to just a couple more varieties that I tried. Okay, so I already told you guys a couple new peppers that I thought, like, do pick these if you're gonna pick a new pepper. If you're going to pick a new sweet pepper, do it. Jimmy Nardello, rareseeds.com, or Baker's Creek is their name. It is fantastic. I tried this from a start for my friend as well, and I was hooked. I mean, like, seriously, the name, I thought, meh, I guess. I don't know why it being named a person's name made me think it wouldn't be good. It is so, so delicious. They look spicy. They are not spicy, not even a tiny bit. They are like long and kind of like twisty and wrinkled. And my girls go in my garden and they gobble them down. It's like, if it wasn't so productive, we probably wouldn't get any inside, but it is so productive. And I love them. We eat them raw with hummus. I have put them in all sorts of stir fries and different stuff. Someone suggested drying these for paprika, which now I am so curious and want to try next year. But this pepper, if you are going to try a new pepper and you like sweet peppers, this pepper is the one. I mean, gosh, I wish I got commission off of saying that. I don't, but this pepper is so good. I actually convinced my cousin last night to order it. And I tell you, you are not going to regret this pepper. It is absolutely amazing. I wish I would have known about it 10 years ago. All right, now we're going to get into some peppers that I got through Instagram. I love this hashtag. It's called Seed Wish Wednesday, and it is hosted by Brambleberry Farm. And it is where gardeners get together and every Wednesday, she has like a post up and you post what you would wish for. And other gardeners try to fulfill wishes. And so it's kind of like a seed exchange. You don't have to send something in return, but it's kind of like the polite thing to do. And so I have mailed seeds back and forth. It's a great way to get happy mail. Like, you know how the mail's full of junk mail and bills. It's so fun to have an envelope with a little card and fun seeds that you've never tried. It's a great way to try things before investing and buying them. And you know how seed packs have like tons of seeds in them. You don't need all those seeds, so it's kind of nice to share and then get more variety. One of the things I got from there was the Blot pepper. Blot pepper is a bell pepper, and it's super pretty. I wish I had a picture for you. If you look it up, it's got like, oh gosh, almost like streaked colors, like a purple with the yellow, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It was not that productive for me. I'm gonna grow it again because I liked it so much. I'll probably put an extra plant or two in to make sure I get some sort of production, but it is beautiful pepper. Another one I got through there, which I started it too late, and so I'm gonna give another shot, was Trinidad Scorpion Red pepper. This is a super spicy one. I did not get the seed till mid-spring. This is one like Habanero that I should have started like early February or even in January. So these are going to be some of the first seeds I start. I really want to know what it's like. That one, as well as the 7-pot chocolate pepper. As I said, I love spice. This one I got a plant, did not get fruit from. I need to start this indoors earlier this year. I got from a friend of mine on Instagram, Emerald Giant Bell Pepper. This is a great one. As again, this one you would harvest green. However, every single pepper that says green also will probably change color. So I'm curious. I harvest this green. I'm curious what this color actually is. I'm assuming red, but I might try to find out this year. My friend also, oh my goodness, she gave me this cute pepper. I'm gonna butcher the name. Biquinho pepper. Okay, she saved these herself. They germinated true. They are adorable, little tiny peppers. They look like little Christmas bulbs. And they, let's see, the colors were like light yellow to an orangey red. And they were super sweet and with a little bite at the end, like a little spice at the end, but they were like so fruity. I mean, so fruity. My little girls ate them, so they like spice, but they're not like crazy super hot habanero fans, you know? So this one I'm gonna try again. I didn't actually realize which pepper this was until later in the fall because I didn't mark it very well in the garden. So another reminder, mark your plants so you know what that cute little pepper that tastes so good actually is. Now, my last seed I'm gonna talk about is, what is it called? Eisley Wax. Okay, my friend gave these to me. She said they were a safe seed that ended up probably hybriding in her garden. They were supposed to be more like a Hungarian wax. For me, they ended up like a absolutely amazing, very large Anaheim. I mean, I'm talking about like huge Anaheim pepper. To me, they tasted more like an Anaheim. Where she grew them, she would harvest them red, and as she said, in her garden, they were more like a Hungarian. So I don't know. I think that might be part of the cross that happened in our garden, but I don't regret it. Like, I'm gonna grow these again. These were so good, so incredibly fruitful. I mean, they were packed with peppers all season long. One of the earliest things for me to fruit, and it just kept going. This was a must grow for me. It's hard to find. When I tried to look it up, I feel like the specific Eisley Wax was from a certain farm that she got them from. So these are very hard to find. I don't have a seed company to send you to. I just say, like, good luck looking, we'll see. And then that is, oh, no, one other one. Where is it? Oh goodness, I misplaced it. Well, there's one other one I wanted to mention to you. It is called a Ralph Thompson squash pepper. This pepper was so yummy. They are, oh, here they are. They were from Small Farm Charm, my friend Amy. I actually am friends with Amy on Instagram, and she was passing through where I live this summer, and I got to give her a garden tour in person, meet her husband, her grandson. She is so precious. I don't know if she's going to watch this or not, but Amy is so precious and so generous. And let me try this Ralph Thompson pepper that she grew. It is like the perfect pepper for chili, like a spicy chili pepper. But I use them fresh, cut them up, diced them up, put them in like chilies, tortilla soup. I make this lentil stew, which is kind of chili-ish, and oh my gosh, they turn deep red. They're like that pumpkin shape with the little ridges in them, like a Cinderella pumpkin, but dark red. And those are delicious. It was my first year growing them. I am absolutely growing those again. I want to grow more of those because I'm like envisioning this spicy chili powder. Oh, so good. Those, just like the paprika though, because they're thick fleshed, you need to slice them thin, pop them in the dehydrator. Do not dry those on the counter. They will not dry right because they are not thin skinned. Okay, I forgot one pepper that I grew. This one is kind of funny. My friend Robin thought it'd be funny, because we have teenage boys, to grow this one called the red Peter. If you look up red Peter, you will know why she thought it was funny to have this in my garden. It was hilarious. It was spicy. For me, it was not very productive. I got just a couple mature peppers from the red Peter. So I don't know if I'll grow that one again. I didn't have seeds for it. I bought it as a start. You know, the flavor was good. The funniness was awesome. But that might be the one that I don't repeat in my garden this year. Oh, here is one I bought from Redwood Seeds. I've never tried. New to 2023 in my garden. It is called Corno Di Toro pepper, and I'm probably butchering that, okay? This is, it says, with a name that means bull's horn, this Italian heirloom sweet pepper can grow 10 inches long and is perfect for grilling, stuffing, and dicing. With a twisted shape, these peppers certainly resemble their namesake. This sounds amazing. We love grilling in the summer. We love sauteing. And as I said, my girls eat these peppers. Anything that's sweet, they eat right out there in the garden. They don't even make it inside. So I'm really excited to let you know how this one does for me. Can I tell you something about starting pepper seeds? As I said, there is no shame in buying starts. There is no shame in buying starts. That's all I did for the longest time. My very first time growing peppers and tomatoes was when I was pregnant with my middle child, and he's almost 13. So that would be 14 summers ago, maybe 15. I don't know how you count that. Maybe it was 15 summers ago. I don't know. Anyway, I bought starts. I bought all of my starts from my friend who's a local gardener down the street. I trusted her opinion. I trusted that she knew what she was doing. There are nurseries you can buy them from. There are even places like Tractor Supply or Home Depot or big box stores, you know what I mean? But that's fine. If you do want to grow seeds, peppers are one you want to start early. Most people use a heat mat, or they might put them on top of a refrigerator where, you know, it's like the running motor makes it a little hotter on top. I don't. Now, is that smart? I don't know. Sometimes I put my trays down on our heat register vents, you know, because our heat is in the ground, just to give them a little more warmth. I mean, I get it. I'm like you, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to do things on a budget, but start them early. You don't need to start everything early, but peppers, a lot of the packets say start 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. 8 to 12 weeks before the last frost date. The way you can find your last frost date, you can Google last frost date for and enter your zip code. It will tell you the average last frost date. Now, one word of advice, be careful on this. Our average last frost date is like, I want to say it's like, middle to end of March. That is not very accurate for our area. We have consistently had a surprise frost in April. What part of April? It depends. Now, we have had 90-degree days in April. How confusing is that? 90-degree days and then a random frost? So be careful. Do not just think, oh, you know, this person in zone 9 is planting out their garden and I should do mine too. Look at your frost date. Peppers, about 3 months before your last frost date, that is when you want to start them inside because they are very, very slow. But peppers are the last thing I transplant in my garden. I transplant my tomatoes, I transplant my eggplant, I transplant, cucumbers and all sorts of other things. And I wait till the very end for peppers because even if you don't have frost, it still might be too cold for your peppers. Peppers like it warm. All right, we'll talk more about seed starting a different time. But I wanted to make sure that if you grew peppers, you were set up for success and that they did the best they could for you. That was long. I wish that I had had time to talk about tomatoes. I really actually intended today to get through tomatoes, eggplants, squash, cucumbers, pumpkins, watermelon, all of the fun things. And I just think it's too long. So we will have to do another video, but I hope this was helpful. Can I give you like a little bullet point summary? I'm not sure. I guess I would say if you were going to venture into something you had never tried before, and I love all peppers, you know that, but Sugar Rush Peach, if you want something spicy, Shishito, if you want something that is just absolutely fantastic for sauteing and snacking. Sunbright Yellow, my personal favorite bell pepper. I told you guys, Jimmy Nardello. If you like sweet peppers and you're gonna pick just one new variety, Jimmy Nardello is a winner. Thai Dragon. I thought, oh, these little tiny, they're pretty small. They're like the size of Tabasco peppers. Like they're tiny. You have to gather a lot of them to do anything with them. But that hot sauce is a must-have in our house. It was just perfect. So if you can find them, the Thai Dragon's a little tricky for me to find. I did find it in town, Lake Valley. You might have more luck online than I did. Looking to see, oh gosh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Any other unusual ones? Well, I like all of them. So would you be kind enough to leave me a comment and let me know your favorite peppers? Because you might be growing something that I'm not, and I have time to find it and to buy it for myself. Would you be kind enough to let me know any pepper that I shared with you that you thought was interesting and maybe you'll try? Would you let me know a review you have of any of these peppers? Like if you didn't like one of them or it didn't do well for you, I'd love to know about it. I'd love to know what region you're in because I do think things grow different in different regions. We are in Northern California. We are zone 9. Really we're more zone 9B. We have a very long growing season. We have a very, very hot growing season. And so I think peppers do well here. Peppers like the heat. I think that's why it's a natural place for us to grow peppers. But maybe you're somewhere colder and maybe it's harder for you to grow peppers. I'd love to hear about your experience. So would you share with me? Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I know it was a long video. Thanks for hanging with me. I can't wait to share with you the other kind of veggies and fruits and stuff that I grow. I hope that we learn a lot together. Have a great day.